Hill Close Gardens were created in 1845. The detached gardens were an extension of Victorians' homes away from home. They were a place to escape and a place to grow. With the onset of a new century and the Great War, habits changed and more people now had gardens attached to their homes, meaning that the once important getaway became largely redundant. By the early 1990s, the gardens had been sold to the council for housing development, and the remaining 16 were largely derelict, overgrown and forgotten. Except one. George Mills had a pristine plot surrounded by a forest of overgrowth. Prior to George, there were many different owners, each with their own story outside of the gardens. From John Margetts, who handled the sale of the gardens in 1866, to William Sleeth the bootmaker to the Warwickshire Yeomanry at Plot 9, Roger Weedin, the local postman at Plot 11, to the flower dealer Henry Bartlett at Plot 16. Some owned multiple plots, like the cabinet makers, the Ivans, while most tended to one, like the Savages, who were at Plot 22 for 60 years until 1987. In the 1870s, the Chadbands, a family of pork butchers, used plot number 24 for keeping their pigs. George took over the tenancy in 1958. But with housing development beckoning, the work began. Would that be the end of the gardens and of the memories spent here? As the diggers got close, the buckets hit brickwork. Understanding what lay beneath the surface, English Heritage and Warwickshire Gardens Trust played a significant part in persuading the council to let planning permission lapse and to restore the gardens instead. Horticulturalist Noreen Jardine and Warwickshire Gardens Trust member Christine Hodgetts undertook detailed research into the history of the gardens, and the historical value of the site was established. The gardens were then Grade 2 listed. Local volunteers started clearing the derelict gardens. In the year 2000, Warwick District Council helped set up a trust, and since then, the staff and volunteers have worked hard to restore and maintain the gardens and their uniquely attractive summer houses. Over the past few decades, the Trust, with the support of the Heritage Lottery Fund, Warwick District Council and many others, have been able to restore the gardens to their former glory, introducing many visitors to the only group of restored detached gardens in the country. And they've ensured, down to meticulous detail, that throughout the garden, each plot demonstrates some of the personality the past tenants and their families once had. From the beautiful flowers to the billowing trees, every inch of this garden has its own story, waiting for you to discover it and experience the sights, sounds, and smells of the past. As you walk around these unique gardens, we want you to enjoy, relax, and imagine the life of yesteryear, a glimpse into the past that awaits you. Welcome to Hill Close Gardens.